Hello and welcome to episode 93 of Learn, Do, Become Radio. I'm April Perry, and here at Learn, Do, Become, we help people who are drowning in the details of their personal and professional lives to create simple systems so we can all do what matters most. Today we're talking about Project Overwhelm. Have you felt it? Have you felt like there are so many things to do and I don't even know where to start? If that is you, I want you to know that overwhelm does not have to be your reality. Now, I received some awesome questions from one of our community members who wanted to know how to simplify current projects and what to do if new things came up and how to actually make it work balancing personal and professional projects. So I recorded a Facebook Live and broadcasted it and answered these questions and thought it would be helpful to include here on the podcast. If you want to read through and see pictures and see a little bit more detail, go to our show notes page, which is learndobecome.com/episode 93. I help people to build command centrals. It's called a STEP command central, steps to everyday productivity. And in our podcast and on our social media channels and our YouTube channel, all throughout our website, our goal is to help you to be able to get out of that overwhelm, build your STEP command central, and feel amazing. We do have an introductory class at learndobecome.com/step and lots of awesome resources available on our website. So go to the show notes page, the learndobecome.com/episode 93 to get all the links and details. But otherwise, we're going to go ahead and just jump into this recording. And I hope that after you watch, you feel a sense of relief as you start to implement what we discussed and simplify your projects and get more and more focused. All right, enjoy. Hello, I'm April Perry, and today we're talking about how to get out of project overload. If you are feeling like I have so many projects and I don't even know what to do, today I'm going to show you how you can feel calm and excited and feel peaceful when it comes to all the things that you have on your plate. Okay, so I want to share with you what I actually received from one of our community members. I got some great comments that have come in, and if you are thinking, hello, I need help with current projects, then you are in the right place. All right, so I recorded a podcast. It was episode 80 of Learn, Do, Become Radio, which was a deep dive into actually completing current projects and next actions. And here's a great comment that I received from one of our listeners named Dave. And he said, I have been a GTDer, that's David Allen's Getting Things Done, for years, and it has made a huge difference in my work life. Yay, I love GTD and David Allen, love it. Total game changer. However, I really never found it to be nearly as effective at home in my personal life, and your program seems to be that bridge. Okay, first of all, I just want to say thank you for noticing because that is what I'm trying to do. I love what the book Getting Things Done has taught me. It works so well for work and corporate, but when you're trying to involve a family and all the things at home and the juggling of children and activities, it can start to feel a little bit overwhelming. And so what I try to do is help make it really, really step-by-step, really simple and visual and family-centered. So if you have children or you are caring for a parent or you just have a lot going on in your household and community and you want to learn how to balance all of that along with doing great work, that's what we're here to help you do at Learn, Do, Become. All right, so then he says, quick question though. I'm having a hard time getting my head around a total of 7 or 8 current projects. I have way more than 7 or 8 projects as defined by GTD at work, even before I add in my personal ones. I feel like I can cut down my personal projects to well under 7 or 8, but at work, no way. Have you had other people bring this up? Okay, this is such a good question. Now, what we recommend at Learn, Do, Become in our STEP program, Steps to Everyday Productivity, is that you have 7 or 8 projects maximum, including personal, family, and at work at a time. Now, that doesn't mean that you're only going to accomplish 7 or 8 projects that month. That means that's your initial starting point. If you get some of those done, you can add new ones in. But the goal is that your brain isn't trying to manage 50, 100, 200 projects at the same time. Because if you are currently doing that, you know how it feels. You know you're not getting things done. You know you feel stressed. You know you procrastinate. And you feel just this weight on your shoulders. You probably have a hard time falling asleep at night and you're thinking, I don't even know how to move forward. And then you start getting down on yourself because things aren't moving at a pace that you feel excited about. So let me tell you what I told Dave. First of all, I said, So happy you're here. Love talking to fellow GTDers. But I get the 7 to 8 current project limit feeling hard. Right now, here at Learn to Become, we run our own business and team, and there are literally hundreds of things we could, need, should do. But that doesn't work for us. It stresses me out to do too much, and I get overwhelmed. If it works for you to do lots and lots of projects simultaneously, that's obviously fine. You don't need me to simplify that. But if you're feeling weighed down, I recommend you try this. So first, create 2 to 3 current work projects for you, okay? If you need more than that to be happening simultaneously in your business, and they truly aren't routines, because a lot of times your projects could be moved onto a routines list, and those are just things that you do repeatedly, and they don't take the same bandwidth because they're more like habits, right? That's fine. Routines are fine. Projects, though, we want 2 to 3 for you in your business. Then I recommend you delegate the ownership of any of those extra projects that need to be done to other team members. That way, they can still be on your business current projects list, but they're not on yours, because there's a difference. Your brain needs to be able to rest and refocus. So our team right now at Learn to Become is focusing on about 6 to 7 projects as a team. But right now, I'm only focusing on 2 projects, okay? I was focusing on 1, and now I added 1 more. So that's where my focus is. And when I have project time during the day, I'm working on just my 2 projects. And what I'm doing right now is actually part of those 2 projects. That's why I'm here. Then the other projects are still getting done, and I might be weighing in on them in periodic meetings or Slack messages or texts or things like that. But I'm not in charge of them. If any one person is in charge of way too many projects, you're going to find that that person will feel overwhelmed. And if that person is you, you understand clearly what I'm talking about. Then once you've done that, where you have the projects delegated, you only have 2 or 3 projects you're working on, then you put all your focus into your projects and you get them done. Then you move on to the next ones, or you delegate if you get to the point that you've done the heavy lifting and you don't need to manage that project yourself. So, okay, if the projects, though, if you're listening to this and you're like, well, I'm not a business owner, I'm not deciding on my own projects, I'm being delegated to, if those projects are coming from like a supervisor, a company owner, something like that, and then the number is more than 3, then I would recommend you have a talk with the person who's delegating to you and say, I am going to focus on getting projects more quickly past the finish line. Which 3 would you like me to prioritize so I can do them well? And if you want more on that, the book Essentialism by Greg McKeown is so good, all right? So as a business owner with a team, if any of my team members are feeling like they have too many projects and are overwhelmed, that's not going to serve them or me or the community. The only way that we're able to feel excitement and progress is if we have a doable amount of work on our plate. So I just had a conversation with one of our team members last week where she said, hey, I've got like 5 things I'm working on and I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. And I said, okay, then this is a sign we just need to talk through it and figure out what we're going to deprioritize. When you know that you have things waiting in line and you can focus on your current projects, you're going to feel so much better. Now, I do have a podcast at Learn to Become where I talk about how I use Asana, ASANA. There's lots of different apps for organizing your projects, and you don't even have to use a digital app. You could obviously just use paper or folders or whatever, but Asana, Bootcamp, Monday, Trello, there's lots of great resources out there, a lot of them free or at least have free versions that are great. Right now, I use the free version of Asana, and it is amazing. What we do is we have, and I'm going to teach this how it works because it's going to also apply to what we're going to talk about with personal projects in just a minute. I have my current projects at the top. And so I have it's called April's projects, okay? Current projects at the top. Then we have in progress or waiting projects. Then next in line and someday. So I actually take the project and I drag it into the spot where it belongs. So my current projects list is very short. Remember I said right now I have 2 current projects. So if you go into Asana and you look at April's Learn, Do, Become projects, I have 2 in my current list. And then I have nothing in progress and waiting because our team kind of manages that. And then I have, a couple of my next in line. But that way my brain doesn't feel overwhelmed and I know where to focus when I do have the energy and the time to work. And I'm being really adaptable right now, flexible because there's a lot going on and that's fine. It's great. Okay, so what I love is Dave got this response and then he just sent in another question that I just saw this morning. So I want to share an answer to that. Okay, he says, I'm already putting your advice into place, but I do have another quick question about limiting projects to 7 or 8. Let's say I limited the list of my current projects to 8, which I did, but all of a sudden something came up, which it did. My wife's Jeep has a flat tire. Now, boom, we have another project. Make an appointment to get it fixed, take it to the auto shop, pick it up, and of course, navigate this during our current COVID reality, which does create some issues. So by definition, we have another current project. When these come up in our work or in life, do you just roll with it and add it to your list? I love this question so much because if you have ever lived in the world, you know that things don't always go as planned. Things come up all the time. In a personal life, yes, you might have a car breakdown. Our daughter had to go to the doctor's office. We've had some unexpected things happen with another child. Our family, we had things going on in our family. My dad passed away and we needed to coordinate a funeral, virtual, right? Like there's a lot that's been kind of going on behind the scenes. And so when you have plans for life, which you want to have and which are so good to have, you're often going to have things that will come up. In a business setting, we have things that come up all the time, like something in our tech stack will break. So now we need to go research that. Or the rules of something have changed. So now we need to go back and edit. Or we just got an email this morning, someone found this thing that was wrong and we have to go fix it, right? Like there's all kinds of things that come up. So then the question is, well, first of all, should we even try to plan and prioritize if things are always going to come at us? And the answer is absolutely, because when you have a plan in place and when you learn what I'm about to tell you right now, how to assimilate these projects or how to prioritize them, then it's fine. You're still going to find that you're going to accomplish 90% of the projects that you anticipated or that you recorded at the beginning of the month. Like I get at least 90% of the things that I plan to get done. And then there's like a 10% wiggle room that just happens because of life. And because I know there's going to be some wiggling and my system is set up to adapt for that, I'm okay. Like when they're, refitting a business or there's not a building and you're making it so it's earthquake proof, right? They're getting it set so that when there's an earthquake, the building isn't going to shake. That's exactly what we're helping you to do with your life. We're setting you up with these projects that are established in a really solid way so you can move forward, but they're super flexible. So when regular life happens, which it does to 100% of us, you don't feel it. David Allen talks about mind like water, where you throw a rock in the water and it ripples, but then it goes back to feeling calm. And I love that image because that's how it is. Little pebbles and rocks and things getting thrown into your life. And you just gotta figure it out. Okay, if I want to share how I do it. Okay, so first of all, the question that Dave asked was, when something comes up, do you just roll with it and add it to your list? The only time I do with that, I do roll with it, is if the project is naturally like self-progressing. Okay, and I'll explain what I mean by that. Some projects can easily be incorporated into your calendar and next actions list, okay? Now, remembering a calendar is open, it's clear, it feels like a blank canvas. You only put on your calendar what you have to do that day. Your next actions list accompanies your calendar. It's organized by context, by where you are when you're doing the tasks, like my home things, computer, errands, that type of thing. But my calendar and next actions list are there with me. I use a Franklin planner and it's right there. You can use an app as well. I do use Google Calendar. Okay, but calendar and next actions list, that can handle most of these little things that pop up. So for example, if we have to run in and take our car in, okay, it needs new tires. Obviously that is a multi-step task. So by definition, it's a project. But because I'm probably going to get a phone call from the place when it's ready to pick up, and the need for a car is going to propel me forward to solve that, I don't really need to think about it. I think of that as a naturally like self-progressing project. So I would just add that into my calendar. Hey, I just dropped the car off. I go to tomorrow's page and I make a little reminder, pick up the car, ? Right? So that if they somehow don't call me, like I could just make a phone call. So there's a lot of things like that that you could consider projects, but I just think of them as tasks that will naturally self-propel, okay? But there are some projects that you have to actually put on your projects list or else they won't get done, like cleaning a garage. if you don't actually have that as a project, it's very rare that our family will just say, hey, let's go clean the garage, and that we could do it in one sitting. That's usually something that's going to take a little more time. Or something like creating a podcast. That's a project to get that established, because if you don't do it, it's just going to sit. No one's going to know. It's not going to ring. No one's going to call you. There's not really a pain point necessarily that will help that project propel forward. Okay, so things like that, or setting up a new bill paying system. I mean, yes, you might get calls from creditors or things like that eventually, but there's a lot of systems that if you want to create them, or projects if you want to do, you've got to keep them going, and you need to have them on your current projects list. So you're looking at them during your weekly review, you're checking them out during the day, you see them in front of you. I keep mine on a chalkboard hanging in my office, so I just see them. That's really important to have some projects on that list, so they're kind of set in stone and they're a reminder for you all the time. But what's going to happen is if you can say, okay, naturally occurring projects just kind of go into my calendar task list. Bigger projects that won't self-propel, we're going to put those on our current projects list. Okay, that's kind of the general rule of thumb. However, if anything feels heavy on your mind, then I think you need to actually put it on your current projects, and you have to take one of the current ones off. And I'll explain a little bit more about this. When we keep saying, oh, sure, I can take that. Oh, sure, I can take that. Oh, that's just one more thing. Let me just add it on. And if you either are holding it in your head or you keep adding it onto your current projects list, what you're going to end up with is a really, really big list of responsibilities that will feel heavy to you. If you're not waking up excited, most likely it's because you have so much going on in your brain that your brain is like, I don't even know how to prioritize. There's just a lot to do. I don't know how to do it all. And you feel that weight. When you wake up excited, it's because you know you have a focus list of the things you are specifically meant to do or that you need to do that are going to help you in your life. And you feel like, I can do that. You feel that energy. So I always kind of check in with myself. If I'm not waking up excited, then I know, hey, I need to sit down and let's look at what's on my plate and see what I can take off. So let's say there's this flat tire and it's like, it feels bigger. Maybe some of it's emotional because there's just a lot going on. Maybe there were some extra things. Maybe you needed to price match. Maybe there's just some other stuff you had to coordinate because you're then trying to share cars or whatever. And it's just taking a lot of your bandwidth. If that's the case, then what I would want you to do is go look at your current projects for your personal life. Take something and move it to next in line and get the Jeep flat tire fixed. Make that a project. Because in our minds, when we tell ourselves, oh, it's fine, I'll just kind of add it on, we're basically saying, when I initially made my current projects list, I didn't actually create a list that was full for the month. I had a whole lot of extra room in my schedule. Now, if you did that, that's fine. If you create your current projects list with a ton of white space and buffer so that you can easily assimilate new projects and it's not a big deal, that's awesome. And that even might be a good rule of thumb to just do all the time. But for me, what I usually do is I usually set up a current projects list saying, okay, if everything were ideal this month, here's what I would get done. Then when something new comes in, I just have to replace. And so I think about my current projects list. I think about all my projects like a pyramid, okay? So we've got like the someday projects, the next in line, the in progress, current. Current projects are like the tiny little spot on the top. And there's just a few. And anytime you start getting bloated with like 12 projects on the top, it's just too much. And you're human, like me. And if you're feeling overwhelmed and your brain is feeling like, hey, there's too much going on, then I want you to simplify. Okay. All right. So I hope that's been helpful to you. We want you to come to learndobecome.com. And if you haven't yet taken our free training, How to Finally Stop Drowning in Piles, that is at learndobecome.com/step. We also have created a at your own pace, step-by-step home organizing party. You can sign up for that at learndobecome.com/party because it is such a party. And we're so happy that you're here. Thank you so much for joining us here at Learn, Do, Become Radio. I am thrilled that you are with us, and I hope that you can look at Learn, Do, Become and our team here and the community that we have as a resource for you to be able to feel less stress, get out of the overwhelm, and be able to focus on the things that need your time and attention. We are so grateful for you. And if you want any links or information to the things that we talked about today, remember our show notes page is learndobecome.com/episode 93. We also just completed our 9-lesson step-by-step home organizing party. And the party is self-paced. It's available for you. You can still sign up. So if you're brand new here and you're thinking, this is what I've been looking for, I want to be part of your party, go to learndobecome.com/party and you can sign up, get those audios, bonuses, resources, all the things we've prepared for you. We keep it really simple. It's really focused. And the more you listen and watch and participate in the community, the easier this is all going to feel. You can wake up feeling excited. You can go to bed feeling content. You can take care of yourself and your family and your professional needs and do all the things that you were meant to do, living your purpose. It is possible. It's not always easy, but there is a process that makes it feel doable and exciting. And that's what we want for you. Have an amazing day, and we will see you soon at learndobecome.com.